my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Debicki, and today I'm going to review the latest family film, Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. This movie is the sequel to the 2018's Peter Rabbit. This movie is by the same director of that movie, and stars a returning cast of James Corden, Domhnall, Gleeson, Byrne, Margot, Robbie, and Daisy Ridley. This basically tells the returning story of Peter Rabbit, played by James Corden, who doesn't know his place in this world. His mischief gets way too overboard, so he decides to run away outside the farm to a world where mischief becomes fun and belonging for him, until he finds out that maybe family might be more important than a bunch of mischief. I find the first Peter Rabbit movie just a fine movie for kids. It's a film that knows exactly what it is. I literally walked out of the film going, okay, I find some enjoyable aspects of that film, and I did have fun with the film, even though it's not a film that I would watch again. So, a sequel of this film is coming out. It's meant to come out last year, but of course, during the coronavirus, it's coming out this year. Right when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out. Pretty wrong release date, but I think it's because of Easter, so I think I understand why this movie is coming out. What do I think of this movie? Let's find out. Let's talk about what I liked about the film first. First, the voice casting of this film. Still there. James Corden as Peter Rabbit was still great in this film. I like James Corden. I think he's a very likable actor. He's good in some voiceover films, and he is a good late night host. I do watch his late night show, but I think James Corden does a really good voice work as Peter Rabbit in this film. He's definitely perfect casting for this film. Even the rest, like Margot Robbie, and especially Daisy Ridley, I find her funny in the first movie. This movie, I find her even funnier. There's an aspect of her character that she eats sugar, and she goes crazy. I find that aspect really, really hilarious in the film. Live action characters as well, like Byrne and Domhnall Gleeson, they're good for what they are given. They're still good actors, they're good in this movie. And I would say the animation, for the most part, of these animals look really, really good. It's going for the Alvin and Chipmunks animation that they look real realistic, but you can see emotions through the animals' faces. This movie did the exact same animation as the first one, and I really like what they did with it. It definitely fits in the live action genre. They're doing, like, for example, Tom and Jerry, where it's like cartoons in the real world that looks really ridiculous. I'll definitely review that next. Heard some bad things about that movie. But all those aside, guys, I find Peter Rabbit 2 The Runaway fairly disappointing. I feel like this is a complete different film than the first movie was. I feel like the first movie has a very simple plot, has a very fun slapstick comedy plot. This movie is more about Peter Rabbit just finding his place, and I honestly find the plot of this movie very, very messy. There's a lot of subplots in this film that has nothing to do with the story. Like, there's a plot aspect that is involved with Byrne and Domhnall Gleeson trying to publish a Peter Rabbit book, and the industry that's going along with the book keeps doing changes, and I didn't even care about that aspect in my opinion. I care more about the adventure that Peter Rabbit is going, and I feel like that adventure that Peter Rabbit is going just leads to really, really dumb decisions and really, really messy aspects of the film. There are elements that's like, okay, Peter Rabbit's running away from home. Oh, he came back. Oh, he's doing it again. And then it turns into a heist film. It's just all over the place. There's a lot of things happening in this film. I felt like this film doesn't feel as exciting as the first movie was. I do think kids will like this film though. It's one of those films that I do accept that it's messy because it's a film for kids. If kids like this film, Peter Rabbit 2 did a really good job with that. But I felt like for me, it's definitely not a film for me. It's a film that just knows its demographic and knows exactly who it's for. I do think the voice casting of the film was fantastic in the film. There are some funny parts in the film. There's also some really bad CGI though. In this film, there are some CGI stunts in this film, especially by Domhnall Gleeson. There's a part that you see in the trailer where he's rolling down the hill, and it extends it a lot, where he rolls down the hill and keeps falling, he goes too fast, and he keeps tripping, and there's like an aspect where he just falls high, like jumping like a Looney Tunes cartoon. There's even an aspect with a rolling truck, and Domhnall Gleeson's trying to stop it, and it leads to him like flying and smashing in the rear window, and it's like, that CGI stunt thing just looks no matching for this movie, but just want to mention that because that looks hysterically awful. But I think Peter Rabbit 2, it's a pretty simple movie that I think kids will enjoy, but to me this movie is a mess, not as good as the first movie. I feel like the first movie paced itself much more better than this movie. I find this movie boring, but I do accept who this film's demographic is for. I'm going to give Peter Rabbit 2 The Runaway a C-. So guys, that is my review once again for Peter Rabbit 2 The Runaway. Let me know what you think of this film. Do kids like this film? Do kids hate this film? Do kids think this film is as good as the first one? Or adults think this film is good or bad or as good as the first film? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Keep contacting me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, notified for my latest movie reviews, and Have a nice day.